We need to stop saying the word bitch, okay? Let's get that out of the way. I literally just stopped not even 5 seconds ago making that last video, but now I have to go on a rant about something. Again, I was watching another Trisha Paytas video, and this was about the Hair by J situation, where it was like, he overpraised me and stuff, and he was really rude to me, and he said stuff about my skin, and then Jeffree Star, and everything like that, but that doesn't matter, because it just triggered me something. It triggered something in me. He said in his TikTok, Instagram, I think it was Instagram live stream, he was like, oh, this bitch, this whore. And it's so rude, like the way he says it, it triggered me. And people don't understand it, like my friends don't understand it. And the thing is, like, it's such a double standard because it's like, you think it's okay to say because it's like a woman. I'm being serious. It's because it's a woman. It's a word used against women, so people don't think about it because it's okay. It's okay to be mean to women like that, and it still is, and people try. And then people who don't understand are like, oh, it's fixed now. It's fixed. Just like racism is fixed because of the Civil Rights Act. It doesn't work like that. Society doesn't change that fast. And people still use the word bitch all the time, and people don't see the issue with it. And I don't want to be that type of person that's like, oh, this is a slur and that's a slur. We need to stop saying those words because there is freedom of speech. However, there is also consequences for your actions. I'm just saying, I don't want Millie to chew on my stuff. Oh my god, I have 5 minutes left. Holy shit. I'm not going to be able to make this video. Oh, I wonder where my charger is. Oh shit, where did I put that? I wonder if I can find it in time for this video. Is that my charger? I don't think so. That's not my charger. Hold on, guys. Where do I plug this in? It's gonna die. Oh. Yeah. No, it doesn't fit. Oh. Oh. No, that's not gonna fit. Oh, I hit the bat. I thought that was Millie. Oh, there's no slot here. I have so many things plugged in. If I didn't have so many fish tanks, it would be easier. Okay. Did the camera die yet? Oh my god, there's 1 minute left. It dies so fast. It was literally at 18 minutes when I started. Oh my god, it barely reaches. There's a charging port. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, wait. What the hell? Where is it? Oh. Here it is. Yeah. It is done. Why did the screen get so bright? Oh. I get a little bit jumpy when things happen. Okay. I'm here now. Seriously, why did the screen get so bright? Okay. What was I saying? I was talking about the B word. I really appreciate when guys understand that they shouldn't be saying it, even though it's not. The whole society hasn't accepted that you shouldn't say it yet. Because they're actually thinking about what their words mean. And bitch is just such a word that's always been used against women. And my friends say, oh, well, it's a neutral word. We use it neutrally. Well, that's not good either. I never believe in reclaiming hurtful words. At least words that originated to be hurtful. And if you use them in a hurtful way, against against minorities. Even if you are the minority, you're still not helping. My friends are gay, and they like to use the F slur because they think they can reclaim it. You can by society's standards, but people don't understand that that's not helping. I don't know why people use hurtful words against themselves. It doesn't make any sense. And the issue is, it would be different if people didn't understand why they do that. But when people look up to you and they see you using these words, they will start using it. And then there's this problem again because people don't listen to what they're saying. They don't understand the word. They hear other people say it, so it must be fine. People don't think about the other issues with their actions and what they say. And I when I was younger, I didn't understand it. I was like, they're just words, you know. They only bother you if, you let them, and it's just not that way. Like, it changes you, and like, no one told me that the word bitch was a bad word. I just, like, I started realizing, like, it's not fair. Like, women are always last. Like, they're always last. Other than, like, there's sometimes, like, women's votes, women's suffrage, stuff like that. But it's, like, I think it's because it's such a wide thing. Like, people hate women. Everyone hates women. And it's, like, because women are in every culture. Women are everywhere. People just take them for granted all the time. And it's, like, it's so, like, I don't understand. And like, what people, people really get mad at me when I say they can't reclaim words because to them it's a power move. It's like people telling me, well, you're a woman, so you shouldn't be a slut, because it's like enabling patriarchy, and it's like, well, I'm doing what I want, so that's what being free is all about, and I understand that. But the thing is with that is it's different from using a word that is meant to hurt people. And the biggest thing that people seem to not understand is, like, it's been happening with the N-word for so many years. African American rappers use the words, and people of dark skin use the word, and if they have ancestry and they're white, they use the words. And it's like, that would be fine if people who looked up to you thought you were cool, or even wanted to rebel because they know they can't say the word, but you say it, so it's not fair. They start saying the word, and now it's still an issue. And it's like, this wouldn't happen if you just stopped saying the word. You have that responsibility. I mean, I never understood why you'd want to use a hurtful word against yourself. It's like the word has been used to hurt people, and hurt you, and hurt yourself, and even, like, people, I can't understand how people get upset. Like, I mean, like, I was when I was at the mall, a few months ago. There was a fight going on between two African American people. It was just out of nowhere. I don't know what was happening. I was just next to them, and I didn't even realize what was happening. I thought they were, like, almost joking with each other at first, but then the dude was talking to her, and she was like, "Don't you ever fucking say that to me, you bitch, you fucking fag, you dyke." And it's like, oh my god. Like, if a white person said the N-word to you, you would be all mad at them about it, and then, like, maybe I guess it's because she's not gay that she doesn't understand that, but it's like, you understand what it's like to have a word used against you when that's not you. It's used to hurt you, and then you use slurs against people who, I guess it's because they're not that, but you don't know that, so why would you do it anyway? And it's like, oh, maybe it's because the N-word it's so obvious, because if someone's, like, dark skin, you shouldn't use it, but that's not even true, because there are people who have ancestry and they're light skin, and people make fun of people who say, like, oh, I identify as this race, even though they have that ancestry, so they can't do that. And it's like, the whole thing about race is just so fucked up, because it's like, you can be white or black depending on society's standards, or white or colored. I don't mean black as in, like, African American, that's different, but, like, I'm Italian, and, like, a few centuries ago, we were considered people of color because we were new. We were new to America. We didn't come here, and we had a little bit of darker skin, especially, like, Italians from Italy, like, and they haven't had white people bred into them. They have dark skin, so people that came here were like, oh, these people they're not white, they're not Americans, so they're different, they're colored people. And now Italians have been accepted as Americans, and, like, oh, it's great to be white, you don't get the same type of treatment as people of color, but people seem to forget what the history is like. And it's like, another thing is it's still affected. Like, I'm Italian, and I don't have any Italian, like, traditions, or I have no heritage. Like, if no one told me I was Italian, I wouldn't even know, because we have nothing. We just have American culture, we have white culture, and that's it. We've been boiled down to that much. I have no roots to Italy, even though both of my parents came from there, and in Ireland. The only thing I have, to be honest, I have more connection to Ireland because I'm like sort of a Wiccan, but also like a Hellenistic, so like it's kind of close to Italy, but it's more Greek. So it's like society has failed me because I lost my my heritage and stuff. And I'm ranting right now, but it's like, it's the whole issue of like race, and it's so dumb, and it's like back to like words to reclaim. Like, eventually if you stop using it, people forget, and then it's not hurtful anymore. It's weird. And I talk about this to my boyfriend sometimes because he calls me a Goomba. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And what was it? I think my cousin called me a Goomba once, and my mom was there, and she was like, what did he just say to you? And I was like, Mom, that's not what he means, because Goomba was a word used against Italian people, because Italian people would call each other Goombas as like a comrade friendship thing, and people heard it and they used it against them. So then it became a word that no one can use anymore because someone ruined it. And I think the thing is, like the word, like the N-word, it's very strong, it's very powerful because of the history behind it. So I don't think that kind of word should be reused by anyone, because it's just like, why would you try and make it into a better word? And it would be different if everyone could use it, but then people get mad because they can't use it. So it's fighting against you. It's an upward battle. It'll never work. And it's the same thing with the F slur. I know what it's like, because people still use it willy-nilly because they think it's not as powerful of a word as the N-word. They won't say the N-word, but they'll say anything else. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not like a good thing. And I used to say words like that, like any kind of slur, because I was like, oh, it's cool, you know, like, people do it all the time. I think it's unfair, and it's like, that's how I know what's happening. And kids at my school who are older than me, I used to do this stuff in middle school, they still do it. They're still, like, and because they have that rage inside of them, they use words like that, and they're still, like, homophobic, racist, sexist. In my school, there's really, as far as I know, there's not as much racism that I know about. It's more about, it's very anti-gay in my school. That's what I know about. And it's like, I don't get it. And ultimately, going back to the B word, I don't think anyone should use it. And my friends say, oh, it's gender neutral, guys and girls get the B word, but they don't see that it doesn't mean that it's good, you know. It was still used against women. If you call a guy a bitch, you're saying you're like a woman. That is what you're saying. You can't say that's not what that means, because it is. You can't just change a word because you don't want it to seem like that. You need to change the word. And it's so powerful to me when someone says that to a woman. And it's like, even if a guy says it to another guy, you can still tell, like, there's a bit of misogyny in there. And it's like, no one cares, because being a feminist is so weird, and it's so, like, gross, and it's like, it's so dumb, because women are the same as men, and it's just not that way still. People go out of their way to make, like, feminism and people who want equal rights for women to make them seem so dumb. And all I can think of is, out of all of these things that have happened in the world, like homophobia and racism, and those are mainly the main things, there are men in those communities, and people must take them seriously or something. But when it's women, they're still seen as weak, and they need a man, and oh, well, a woman's job is to make babies, and obviously you can't say you don't need a man because you need a man to make babies, so your whole argument is tits up. And it's like, it's so ridiculous. And it's like, I just don't understand why it takes society so long to respect women. It's like, seriously, what is it? What is it? I don't know. It's so frustrating. I don't understand what it is. And it's like, it just pisses me off so much, because it's like little things, like saying the word bitch. And it's like, people, they don't understand, even though they don't mean to be hurtful, but they don't understand, so they still say it. And it's different if you're reclaiming a word that was good at first, or wasn't used to hurt people, like the word witch. the word witch, as far as I know, maybe it's different, but the word witches first was just used to describe witches. People who practice a religion that has to do with witchcraft, or any type of religion describing them as witches. But then the Christian churches, Catholic churches, people that don't like witches started using the term to mean, first of all, it would have been just anyone who was not Christian. So it's like, that's an issue already. You're changing the word to mean something completely different, and that would mean more harmful. So then now these more people are being called witches, and then they assume like, oh, witch is a bad thing because I'm being called that and I'm not a witch. So now it's being transformed into this thing, and obviously if you're called a witch nowadays, it's just like kind of an insult. It's like, why would you say that? It's not like a slur or anything. I mean, to be honest, there are a lot of things that I feel like should be slurs or will be slurs in the future, because people will become like more aware of the words they're using, and they're like, why would you know, it's like I feel like the word ass, like, I don't, as far as I know, ass just means like kind of like a donkey, right? And there's some words like that I don't think will be changed to slurs, but even if they are, like, we need to accept that there's change in the world, and people will be mad because they're used to using the word bitch all the time. So now it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to say it or anything. Like, yeah, because times are changing and people are realizing the mistakes they're making, and we need to make progression as a society. And it's like, it makes me so mad that people don't understand, and it's like, it's just what it's like to be in the modern world. And you have more power more than ever, I think, because you have the internet and you can share your opinion. And it's like, that's what I'm doing right now, because I feel like people don't understand still. This is a thing that's used even by minority communities because they don't see the issue with it. I just can't understand. And sometimes it makes me think, like, I'm a part of a minority community. Is there something I'm doing that I'm not realizing? And I think about it and I self-reflect, and I'm like, there's something that I'm so used to in society being okay that I don't realize that I'm doing something that's or like a word or something, or doing something that hurts communities. Like cultural appropriation or something. People don't get it because, oh, you know, back in the 70s or something, you know, like, off the top of my head, what are they called? Dream catchers. They were made all the time, and it was like a symbol of, like, almost like American culture. Well, it is a symbol of American culture, Native American culture, and the issue isn't that you have a dream catcher, it's because of the mass production, and a lot of times it's now used, people don't even understand that it's Native American, or they do understand it's Native American, but they don't care to learn about it, so they keep accidentally hurting these communities. And it's like I have a dream catcher in my room. I didn't buy it. It was a gift from a friend. He was going to just throw it out. And I was like, that is so beautiful. It's rainbow. It has beads all over it. It has rainbow feathers. I loved it so much. I'm so glad he gave it to me. And I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I know this was a mass-produced thing. And there are shops, you know, like, around my area that sell dream catchers because they're New Age shops. And I'm sure that they're not supporting Native American communities. And I think that's right because it's theirs, you know, like, I wouldn't mind if someone sells something that's, you know, traditionally Italian, and it goes to support that community, and you'd be like, oh, well, that means that everything would have to support someone's community if they made it. But it's different if it means something, you know, like a dream catcher. It was a staple of their culture, you know, like it meant something. It was to do with folklore. And then we don't even realize that anymore. It's just like, oh, it's a dream catcher. You know, it catches bad dreams. And it's like, that's not just it. And it really depends on the area, the tribe that you're looking at. It's so deep and people don't understand. And it's like, if you want to be uneducated, then fine. But you can't get mad at people who try and change things. You have freedom. You can do whatever you want. But that doesn't mean you can just hurt other people because you decide to be ignorant. So you're like, oh, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Well, you're ignorant. If you do some research, maybe, then you can share your opinion, but you have not. And I know I'm going to be a hypocrite because someday I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm letting you know that I think that. Like, I don't know who made the first poster. I don't know if it was a British person or a Native American person, or it was some people can trace it back to ancient Egyptian scrolls. But what we know now is, like, a poster means pretty much nothing. And it's produced everywhere, all over the world. No one thinks of a certain culture when you look at a poster. It's different. It's just a piece of paper. But, like, something like a dream catcher, like, again, as an example, it was used so, it took so long. It had someone's heart and soul put into it. They made it for families, and they made it as a symbol of protection, like an amulet or what's the other one? Amulet and talisman. Something like that. It means something. So there's levels to things. We just have to consider other things. I don't know. And the thing is, because I know there's going to be backlash for saying things like, you shouldn't say a certain word, because people who don't understand, especially, I know no one likes to use the word, cis white males, they're really not that sympathetic. There are some, they're so sensitive, they're such a sensitive community, and I feel like it's just because they're not educated, white people, they have always been, the society, the world prefers them over everyone else. They're men, so they have more power. Society prefers them over everyone else. They're cis, so people accept them more. A society prefers them over gay people or non-binary people, or and it's that's, I think, why? Because it's the same thing, boys will be boys, or that's all I can think of as an example. And it's just don't be mad if you're cis white male, that's okay. But it's just a thing that's you have the most power. You should do something, you should say something and listen to people who don't have as much power as you. And it's again, back to the word reclaiming thing. It does a lot more harm to reclaim a word because you don't fully reclaim it ever. But if you let things go and disappear, they lose their meaning. Like I said, the word Goomba. No one thinks of the word Goomba, as being an Italian slur. But also Italians are seen as white now. So it's, people don't care about white slurs. Like cracker, or my favorite is honky tonk. I love that so much. People don't care because, they're white, they haven't dealt with the things that we have, so we're going to use it against them. It's reverse racism. I don't believe in that either. But I understand, too, it's so difficult, but ultimately, if the world was perfect, there would be no reverse racism. That wouldn't be good. And people would just understand things. They wouldn't get so mad about it because there's something inside them that's fighting. It's so complicated. Anyway, don't use the word bitch, because it's really mean. Think about the words you're saying, because it does hurt people, and if you're not sympathetic, you're not empathetic, you're a sociopath, you're a psychopath, then you're not going to care. And that sucks, but that's just the way society is. So just, share your beliefs, but be respectful to others, and we'll be fine, and hopefully justice will prevail. And I feel like people really need to take women more seriously. And it's always the dudes who hate it the most because they feel like, they have equal rights to us, now we're going to lose power. And it's not about that, it's about having equal power. And they feel threatened, and it really sucks because it's not about threatening you. It's about bringing equality to people who deserve it. And I don't feel like there should be slurs against men either. I've never heard a slur against a man, ever. Which doesn't make any sense because, like I said, they're used against white people too, but, oh wait, there's a man in your community who's a minority, and you're afraid because you're a man. It goes a lot deeper than I say, or how you think, This subject of sexism is so complicated because it's everywhere, all over the world. Everyone can understand it, and that's why it's so complicated. So I'm getting hot in here. My door's closed, but the AC's on outside, so. My bunny's trying to chew the Mill! Oh, he's licking it. The tripod. So yeah, that's my opinion. I'm sweating. I'm sick. I hope someone sees this and they comment or something, because I just feel like, it really sucks, and I don't want to have debates about it in real life. I just wish someone would hear me out, and that's it, so it sucks. Anyway. See you guys later. Bye.